Hello one and all, this is Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. This time around, Guilty Gear Strive, the open beta review for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Guilty Gear Strive is the next installment in the long-running Guilty Gear fighting game franchise that is due to arrive on June 11th for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. But of course, before we got the full game, we got an open beta. And the first thing you notice about this game, this iteration, about Strive, is the fact that the game has really toned down on one of the things that kept me away really from the Guilty Gear franchise, and that's the long string of combos. One of the biggest implementations when it came to the gameplay of the Guilty Gear franchise was the Gatling system. Now, the Gatling system was a system in place that allowed for players to string together combos by building up from light attacks to heavy attacks to slash attacks to dust attacks, which would usually, with the latter, be the ones that would catapult your opponent into the air and potentially set up a big air combo. While that is still a possibility, especially when it comes to dust attacks, the way to get to that moment, the way to get to that combo extender is a lot more simplified, with you being able to start off with the slash attack of the combo, which usually comes off of a big counter. Now, special maneuvers, of course, are very simplistic. A majority of them are half quarter circle attacks, though some of your bigger overdrive attacks need a half circle or even a double quarter circle. Though Strive is definitely more suited for new players to the franchise, there are little implementations here and there that come from the previous games, such as the Roman cancel, which allows you to stop certain maneuvers in mid-move and start up another combo, especially if you're right at your opponent. But other things have been changed, such as the throw system. The throw system is more aligned with something like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter, where you're able to just hit one button, grab onto somebody, and throw them. But if you miss that throw, it leaves you wide open for a counterattack. Another thing that is a game changer is the meter system. You have, of course, the Psych Burst, which can be really a Hail Mary if you use it at the proper time. It fills up as you take more damage or unleash more damage, and if you use it at the right time, it can stop an opponent's combo in midstream and turn the tides in your favor. There's also the tension gauge that's pretty much like the EX meter, but the thing about the tension gauge and correlation with the fights themselves, it's not like you can do a whole bunch of tension attacks. It's not like you have the ability to do so because of how fast a majority of the fights are. Sometimes it takes almost an entire round for that gauge to fill up, and if you use it at the proper time, you could finish the round in grand fashion, including knocking an opponent through the barrier that separates the stage transitions. Now, these gauges reset after each round, so you have to use them while you have them because you can't save them for the next round. From an online perspective, which of course was the major part about this beta, I am coming into this feeling very mixed. From a quality perspective, from a connectivity perspective, it was fantastic. I had only one fight out of all the fights that I had, and I lost the majority of them, I will not lie. There was only one laggy fight. With a rollback netcode system, this has provided one of the most flawless online fighting experiences I've ever had, and this is just the beta. But one of the biggest issues I have with this, not only the beta, but from what I'm seeing in the actual game itself, is the options for online play. Instead of having, say, a ranked system, a private match, a player area that you can kind of go into a lobby and play with other random people, all you have is the lobby system. And even though the game sets it up that depending on how well you do, how many fights you win or lose, you are on the floor of this lobby that is representative of your skill set, it doesn't necessarily make that true. So there are times, and what I found out a majority of the time, I will be playing against people who are either higher level than me or have been playing the game a lot longer than I have. There is no real ranking system. There is a self-imposed ranking system that allows for players from around the world, no matter where you are, to play against players who may or may not even understand all of the aspects of the game. This is absurd to me because you look at something like the previous Guilty Gear games, you look at something like Grand Blue Versus, that was one of the more recent Arc Systems games. They had ranked matches. Why in a fighting game? In 2021, with online capabilities, there is no ranked system. And for what I'm seeing, there is no ranked system. There is no ranked online fights. Add that to the fact the clumsiness of trying to square up and challenge someone to a fight makes the lobby system in Strive just annoying. Overall, this is looking to be one of the most impressive fighting games of 2021, and a great way to kick off the genre when it comes to this 9th generation. But one of the biggest issues, and I hope they fix it, I hope they come up with something different, I hope they just put a ranked mode availability. When it comes to online fights, I hate the lobby system. I hate this lobby system that's mandatory. I hope they fix this. I hope they change it. I hope they do something, because they need to have a ranked system just like any other online fighting game. But from a gameplay perspective, this is very fun. This is incredibly exhilarating and really, to me, different from any other Guilty Gear game I've played, that makes me excited to see how well I do not only offline but also online. So there you have it. This has been Soulful Lordy, James Bullock, once again with another video game first impressions. Guilty Gear Strive, the online open beta that was exclusively for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, for a game that will be coming out June 11th on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta go back, watch some tape, see what I did right and wrong with my girls May and Ram, and hopefully come June 11th, I'll be able to slaughter some fools, and hopefully they'll also have a better online system so I can play with a lot more people that won't slaughter me instead. But if that's not the case, I guess I'll have no choice but to say, oh lordy.